Alright, what's good everyone? G-Sen here, and welcome back to another upload of The Mix, the podcast where we talk about whatever, whenever. Now, normally I don't edit these, I usually just kind of throw up the recordings on YouTube, but this one needs a bit of a touch-up. One thing I want to say is that there's going to be a new rule on the podcast. You're still allowed to play games on the podcast, but you cannot play anything that takes away your focus from the conversation at hand. So no League, no Dragon Ball FighterZ, no Valorant, or anything like that. I didn't want it to have to be this way, but every time someone starts playing a game, they fucking suck at talking. The video will be cut off in a weird spot, but what I'll do to wrap things up is kind of give my fighting game background, more or less. Until then, enjoy. Alright, what's good everybody? My name is G-Sen, and welcome to The Mix. With me is a Mr. Vince Vandalpana. What's good, man?
What's up, fam? It's me.
So I hear you're dying.
Oh yeah, so I woke up, I felt like shit, took a Tylenol, didn't even take a full glass of water, didn't eat any food, and I'm surprised that my stomach is saying, fuck you, you idiot. So basically I just gorged myself on a bunch of dry-ass old tortilla chips and a bunch of dry Triscuits because I couldn't find bread. Just so I don't puke my brains out. And I still might. We'll find out.
So, yeah, guys, welcome to the podcast. I'm with my dog, Vince, and he's not feeling too well. Definitely good to have you on, fam. Always good to have you on. The last couple episodes that we've done, I very much enjoyed and enjoyed having you on. So, we didn't really prepare any topics, or at least I didn't off the top of my head, but there's...
Oh, I know we talk about fighting games.
Oh, damn straight, baby, you already know.
Although, just a heads up, I am playing a game right now, and it's not a fighting game, but I'm playing it with a hitbox.
What you playing?
Octopath Traveler.
What the fuck is that?
It's probably the biggest RPG that released on Switch and the most successful one. But I'm playing it on my PC because it finally was on sale and I wasn't fit to pay $60 for it. So it's a turn-based RPG. It has combat kind of like Persona, where you can knock down shit. But the way it works is you choose one of 8 characters to start as for your starting point, and you go to those other towns and you get every single character, and then you just choose your party, and then you progress each individual character's story by playing through their story at the same time.
I mean, that sounds interesting, but I'll have to look it up. I don't know. But is it good?
It's pretty good. I think it might be my favorite RPG in a hot minute.
Damn.
Also, I love the first character I picked because I picked the Thief.
Mm-hmm.
And the Thief is kind of broken as a starting character because you get a bunch of gear because you just steal shit off of everyone. So the way it works is every character has a unique thing that they can do in the overworld. The Thief can steal shit, but in his town, you get a bunch of gear for other characters too, just by stealing it. And then there's you get the Huntress. She can knock people out she challenges them, and they have to fight a fucking bunch of animals. But you just send animals onto them to fuck them up.
Okay,
and knock them out.
Finishing off the intro here.
My bad.
No, it's good. It's good. Yeah, you guys can find Vince at Vandalpana on YouTube and Twitch. Drop him a follow, drop him a sub, all that good stuff. Anything else you would like to shout out before I ask you what you've been playing, other than Octopath?
Oh yeah, be expecting some art videos to be uploaded within the next week. Up to 3 of them, I think. I have just about ready to go.
All right, well, big shout outs to the boy Vince. Drop him a follow. You guys know what to do. And yeah, man, what else have you been playing? What have you been up to?
I've been playing a lot of package. You in there for that? Real quick, on that thing I was saying earlier. I feel like a hero in this game because I knocked out this woman by having her being attacked by a snow leopard, so I could try to rob her dying father, so I can get this axe.
And you said you feel like a hero?
I feel like a hero.
I did that fucking beast of service.
It was a 3%.
Easy prey.
So the way the game works too, you can steal and fuck people over in this, but the more you fail, if you fail to steal something, they catch you enough times, no one in the town will talk to you. So you got to go to the bar. It's 2,000 gold to get them to reset. I stole an axe that's like for levels way higher that had a 3% steal rate, and the way I did it is I knocked out the chick. I kept trying to get the fucking thing from him. Then the whole time would hate me. I'd go pay off 2,000, come back to try to rob this man again. I don't know why it's so funny to me.
Hey man, as long as you're having a good time. But I want to start things off with a little bit of stealing of a. Well, I guess we were talking about stealing, but it's a different kind of stealing, but still stealing nonetheless. I've been watching a podcast or listening to a podcast called No Frills. It's run by Yipes and Chris Matrix, and they do a little something called Humble Beginnings, where they talk about people's start and introduction into fighting games. And I kind of wanted to do that with you here because you're a large part of what kind of got me started into fighting games.
I know I am.
So where did you start? What was your first fighting game, and like how did things evolve from there?
God, my very first fighting game.
Yes, sir.
I can't even remember.
You play Street Fighter 2? I play Street Fighter 2. What do you play?
Was it? Oh, you know what? That might be the one. Street Fighter 2. I remember. It's funny. I actually have full memory of this. I was at a babysitter's house, and her grandson was there with me, and like he and I are home. He's older than me, like quite a bit, but like so he busted out the fucking Street Fighter 2 and beat my ass as Guile, and I was like,
Guile was so good in 2. I mean, it's
so
still
good in every game.
Yeah, he's so good. But the
But,
Guile turtle was at its most powerful back then, I think.
God, fucking this corner. And I'm a Punisher.
Let me just hold charge real quick and hook some
Oh,
boom.
sorry.
Sonic
Yeah.
boom.
Flash kick. You walk at me, you jump at me, flash kick.
So how did it evolve from there?
So that kind of got my general interest. And then my cousin too. He played a lot of Mortal Kombat. So I started playing that with him. I didn't own any fighting games myself for a long time until I think the Wii came out. And then that wasn't even a fighting game. I wasn't even a fighting game. It was it's so stupid. I was playing Smash Bros, but I was playing Smash Bros with my friend long before I was playing Melee, and then we were playing Brawl.
Damn, son, a straight
Yeah,
call out to the Smash players. Are you saying Smash isn't a fighting game, sir?
Well, it's a celebration of gaming, okay?
Alright, well, personally, I consider a fighting game is just a different kind, but...
I do, yeah, but like a true one. Like, and then I started like picking up random fighting games like that I got off of game trades. Like I got Tekken, like 2.
Dude, I honestly don't
Tony
even...
No. Tony gave me a copy of Tekken 3 way back in the day. He's like, here you go. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, oh my god, this shit's lit. And then I didn't play Street Fighter 3 at all. And then Street Fighter 4 came out, and I immediately copped that for Xbox. And there's a few more. I got like some random fucking fighting games on my PS1.
Who'd you play in Street Fighter 4? Like, who'd you main, I should say?
So, thinking back, I don't think I ever had a main because all I did really was play the story because I didn't have anyone to play against until you and I played.
Trash.
Oh.
That was before I
Yeah.
before my crusade started.
Neither of us were very good.
Long before my time.
But what I do remember, when I went to the arcade, when I was on a date with this one girl who's crazy, I'm not gonna mention her. We like stopped by the arcade and she wanted to play Street Fighter, and I was like, oh no. I fucking picked up Dudley and I.
Oh no, bro! You did it that dirty?
Yeah.
The 50-50s all day? Jesus
All
Christ.
day.
What's up, bitch? Take this high-low mix.
And that's when that's after I started playing like more fighting games, and then I actually.
Alright, the question is, who did she play though?
I don't even remember.
She played Ryu?
She didn't even get the chance to press the buttons.
As soon as she wanted to pick a character, I just slapped her hands away.
No, like for real. No, like it was pretty rough. Like, and then played Tekken there too. But then that's right. That's what happened. So I did play Injustice. Oh god. You know what? No, I remember the first fighting game that I picked up on the Xbox 360 that I actually was really excited to play. I played through the story. I played it when people were over, and I regret it now.
Is it KI?
No. Much older.
Fucking.
Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe.
Ew! I have that game. The game is, it's something.
And you know what? I realized I was a scumbag early on because I mained Shazam just so I could command grab.
I honestly don't even know what was good in that game.
Nothing. Everything was bad. Everything was bad. It's so weird too because my mom played and she played Wonder Woman and she button mashed the stick button match. She was throwing out fucking super moves. She's throwing out her special. She's doing all kinds of crazy shit. And I'm like sitting there like trying to keep corner pressure or like trying to like. You know, my mom's just beating my ass with Wonder Woman just sitting and I'm like, wow, this game sucks.
Yeah, I haven't. I definitely played some of that game. I'm pretty sure I still have a copy.
You know what? I remember
That game was ass.
the first fighting game that you and I played through together.
What was it?
It was Soul Calibur.
Oh shit! I intentionally try to forget about that.
No, that was fun though.
It was fun, but the game is not good.
No, I know. We were chilling in the downstairs living room. We just played it, and like the whole time we're like, "This is really bad." We're like, "This game fucking sucks."
But we beat it in like 5 hours or something like that. I don't
Yeah, I copped the copy of 5, or was it you? And then I copped the copy of 4. Like you had a copy of 3 and 5, I think, and I had the copy of 4.
I'm pretty sure that's
right.
what it was.
Yeah, and then because we're just gonna spam all. We beat 5 like in like an hour or 2. We're like, that was awful. Time to play some 3 or 4.
No, we beat. It took us about 5 hours. We like started as soon as I came over. I think we went to GameStop, got the copy, set up my PS3, and then we just fucking started on it. And then we're like, after we beat it, we're like, wait, are we done?
Yeah. We were shocked to be done because it was like 20 fights. It felt like.
I don't even know, dude. Like, but yeah, we fucking tore through that game. So
we talking mad shit about Patroclus.
Oh, definitely. And then the fucking Deviljin I-beams, bro. Too much.
That was so broken because we made our custom characters for a minute. I remember playing and we're like, wow, Deviljin seems broken.
So you've been like very interested in fighting games for a long time. What was probably like as far as like earlier fighting games in your air quotes fighting game career, like what one were you like most fond of way back when?
Way back when. So this is gonna sound stupid.
Nah.
But this actually made me more interested in fighting games, and this is gonna be really bad. It was Guilty Gear, actually. However,
how's that dumb?
Well, okay, so you don't know this, but Guilty Gear has not always been 2D fighting games. The creator has released some wild shit. Like there's a 3D beat 'em up Castlevania like.
Okay,
game.
I did not know that.
Yeah, where it's literally soul bad guy going through hell, basically, and like trying to not get his soul like destroyed. That's where Eno like sends him. And yeah, it's a 3D, and like he does his the dragon install, and he becomes a super ugly ass model.
Yep.
Of a like really fucked up thing. If you Google it, you'll be disappointed.
I won't. But continue.
But the first Guilty Gear game that I played that made me want to like actually learn fighting games
was a 3D beat 'em up.
Guilty Gear Dust Strikers.
I gotta look this up now.
It was a game for the DS. It was a Smash clone, but there was no stage knockoff. There was only health, and there was actual fighting game inputs. It was just a free-for-all brawl of 4 characters.
What the fuck?
And I don't know why, but because the one game that I played like against a friend constantly or multiple friends constantly was Smash Bros. So for me, that was like easier for me to play because it like I was used to the kind of like the status of it, like, or the way the game's set up. But it just wasn't the best, but I played through I completed the game. Like I did everything in it.
So, what was like? Did you play a lot of arcade fighting games, or not really?
I did. I always gravitated towards them. The thing is, like, I had no friends as a child.
I understand. I don't
so
understand.
I'm joking. It's just because I didn't go to arcades much. Most of like the friends I had would just do console gaming. Like we never like went to arcades. And then actually in college is where I started taking, like after high school, I started taking fighting games like a lot more seriously. And I started like actually like doing some shit.
So here's the thing that gets me. Is I've talked to you about the pad versus stick versus now hitbox, which we both rock hitbox, but I've talked to you about the pad versus stick, like, quote unquote debate. And I will say at the end of the day, like, obviously rock whatever like works for you. That's more than fine. If you want to try something, that's more than fine. But I've talked to you, and the thing I hate is when people think they need to buy a stick as a prerequisite to like start learning fighting games when they don't even know if they like the fighting game to begin with. And that's kind of a huge piss off for me. Like, people are creating an extra barrier for starting fighting games that doesn't need to be there when, like, it just, my thing has always been sticks have been for kind of people, and I won't say this for every case, but sticks have been more comfortable for people of like the arcade era. There was obviously a huge point in time where like arcades were the most prevalent scene for fighting games. Obviously things have shifted a bit, but people would buy their own arcade sticks because they were used to the feel of the cabinets way back in the day.
Yeah, that's the original reason they even sold it. It wasn't even like a thing of like, oh, it's better. It's more of just, this is how the game was meant to be played in my eyes. You know what I mean? Like, where it's like, a lot of those games were arcade first before they were, I mean, like Street Fighter originally was an arcade cabinet. It did not have a console game. Like, it was made to be played on a stick with buttons.
So the thing is, like, people create that familiarity with the cabinet. Like, they're comfortable with the cabinet.
Yeah.
Now people nowadays that are like past the arcade era are just like, oh, I feel like I'd be more comfortable on stick. How is that possible? Because
you've never played on stick.
Yeah, you never truly played much, if at all, on stick, and you're already comfortable on pad. At least give pad a try first, and you decide you want to switch off and you like the game, then I can understand it. Like,
well, definitely, I feel like people just don't like. People use controllers as an excuse of like, oh, it's not me that I'm not good at this game. It's not my fault that I'm not great at this game. It's the fact that I don't have the tools. And then it's like this thing like for art too. It's like, even if you have the best like digital art thing or you have the most expensive paints, it doesn't make you a good artist.
Absolutely.
And like for like Street Fighter, like 5 especially, was it? I think Punk. He's playing on a pad, and he was like the champion at the time.
I think Punk's always played on a pad.
Yeah, there's plenty of like professional players that play on pad. In fact, in some things, it's like, well, pad's actually better to play than stick. It's just what you're comfortable with more than anything. Like, honestly, pad gives a lot of options that you don't have on an actual fight stick or like a hitbox, because you have, like, literally, you have the option of both going either buttons or stick. So like, say if you like suck at stick on some commands, you can go to the D-pad. Say you suck at D-pad on some commands, you go to the stick. So like, or like, say you're playing a game that has dashing, you suck at dashing with the stick, you can go to the pad. Like, you have the options of both at the same time. And then like for Street Fighter especially, since like you constantly have fingers over your heavies, it makes it easier to combo into certain things, and even V-trigger in some cases. Like for me, I feel more comfortable on hitbox because I knew I'd be more comfortable on it just because I suck with sticks because I always overdo it. But like, you know what I mean? Where I feel like people don't realize that because it is a pad and it's just the default thing that you have with your console, that doesn't mean that's not worthy of being used in a fighting game. Like,
Yeah, it's not
yeah,
viable. Like that's the thing that gets me a lot is that like, you know, you could list a lot of people and more like prevalently like people are obviously starting out with pad because, you know, it's the first
that's
thing
what
they get with their
yeah,
console.
yeah,
Like by default, you're gonna be very comfortable with it because you use it all the fucking time.
yeah.
So, like just hearing this, like it's so stupid as like an excuse, and I feel like it's a big excuse in a way of like, oh, I just don't want to play the game. I'm sure some people
Yeah,
do that,
yeah.
and then
They
like
just don't want to get sandbagged.
another
People out
thing,
here are so scared to get sandbagged.
another thing that gets me too is when people say I'm not very good at fighting games. I always question is like, how much have you actually tried to get better?
And you know, so that's a thing too, where people magically think the controller is going to make them better. The thing is, you shouldn't be investing in a fight stick or anything like that in general if you don't play fighting games. Like that's just how I see it. Like, why would you? Like, they're not cheap. Like the cheapest ones you can find are like 80, 60 bucks, but that's still $80 or $60. That's not cheap. You don't just spring that money for like
I don't know
for
where.
like one game that you play for like 5 minutes. You don't do that. That's not worth your time or money. Like if you're not gonna use it, don't use it. Don't buy it.
So
And
my
that's what.
case was like super funny, and sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, no. Oh, I was just gonna say like you know, you mentioned it a bunch of times where it's like people don't give a game a chance until they're like, oh, I'll play it when I have this. It's like, dude, you like if you're gonna play the game, you're better off learning the game now, and instead of like, oh, you hit the stick, and then you're gonna be completely shocked when you're still shit at the game, and then you're just gonna regret your purchase because you didn't fucking play it at all. And it's like if you don't really want to play it that bad, then just don't play it. Don't buy the game. Don't buy a fight stick or like wait on a fight stick to like play the game. It's like because that's a lot of money for something that you don't enjoy. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, or might not. Like you're putting money on the line to potentially enjoy something that you don't
Yeah.
even know if you like by default yet. And
And-
like it was
yeah.
really weird in my case because I started off as pad, and for this is like Dragon Ball FighterZ era.
Yeah.
So I started off with pad, and I got a stick eventually. The Horiari P4. It's my first stick. Decent stick. So I played with that a while. I liked it. It felt satisfying, but there were certain things I wasn't quite comfortable with. Someone suggested a hitbox, and I've talked to you in the past about hitbox, like
Yeah.
prior to this.
I
So
always wanted one.
I was just willing to give it a try. So, you know, I just wanted to see if this would be a better alternative. I had the money to kind of throw at it, which I was okay with, and regardless, one way or another, I was gonna play the game.
Well, I mean, you've been playing fight. At that point, you started like hella getting to fight. Like Dragon Ball, I'm glad that you played it because that got you like way in there on fighting games.
That was
And
my fucking gateway drug for fighting games.
I know, because I've always wanted to play fighting games, especially with you, because we always enjoy them. But I was like, well, I had fighting games, or like I was like, I don't want to play this game, but I have no one to play. Like Rev 2, I've had since launch, and I had no one to play it with. After like I had a group of friends in college that we always play, but the thing is, I'd always like sandbag the whole like it's like five people, and I just sandbag everybody, and so I'd have to pass the controller.
So
And it's just,
you're kind of using the meaning of sandbag that I did before. Sandbagging means to intentionally play worse.
oh yeah, no, okay, so my bad. No, I did not sandbag them. I would clear the room, basically. I cleared the room, and what's messed up too is I kind of did some fucked up where like I pick the person's own character for the mirror match sometimes. And
Oh, I'll never mirror match out of disrespect.
I do it. I used to do it all the time. I did it to my friend Damone, and like I picked Venom, and like because I was this main, and I beat him like really bad, and then he looked at me and like it was his first game of the day, so I'm like, oh no man, don't worry, you're just warming up, and then and I said it without trying to be disrespectful, but then I realized like, damn dude, he's mad, and he's like, I want to run back. He just looked at me dead quiet and just went. I want to run back.
See, that's the shit. That's the shit though that I like. I like people that want the run back, and I like the people that want to keep on going even if they're getting fucked up. That's what I like. And I'm having a huge pet peeve against like the opposite type of people.
Yeah, where
that just get
like
shut down and then they just fucking like quit or something. Like that shit pisses me off. Like,
well, you know what's funny too about that? Because you know, how, like, so the way I do it is like, so we have like 4 people, so it's like, oh, if you get 3 wins, pass the controller to the next one, so everyone gets to play, right? And do. Like,
I think you might have told this story on the last podcast, but keep going.
I don't know if I did, but basically, it was Damone was like, for another one, Damone was like the last person I beat of that 3 rotations. So I was about to pass it, and he like looked at me. He's like, "Don't pass that controller.
You keep playing."
He's like, no. You're gonna hold that for a minute. He was so bad.
No, I got respect for that kind of attitude in fighting games.
Yeah. It was funny though, because I was like, I felt like such an asshole, but I'm like, damn, I really want to keep playing with him. Like this game, like, if you know what I mean, like, you have a recording of where I literally go 10-1 in good old. And you know what's funny? The moment we stopped recording, I started like getting more consistent wins, or like round wins at the very least.
I think. How many did you have at the end of the game? You had less than.
I had like 5 or 6.
Okay.
But it was a lot of games. It was like when I started playing like one specific character, like you just like were struggling a bit. But then, who's the last character? I switched to the samurai chick, and that was like weird.
Oh yeah, that one. So, something Vince and I have been doing a lot of is, or at least started doing a lot more of, is just playing random fighting games and just having a good old time, because we both obviously love fighting games. Obviously, we're having a podcast about them now. We've had a podcast about fighting games before. And, you know, I like that we're just messing around and trying other games. We played some Guilty Gear. I got fucked up by Faust. I don't know how to block that motherfucker. He just teleports everywhere.
Dude, it's rock, paper, scissors.
I literally have to fucking Roman cancel to fucking react. Oh man, that shit.
Looks like I have to spend the meter not to get my, so I can prevent my back from being blown out.
But before we played Gear, we actually played, I don't know, like 20 plus matches of Under Night.
Yeah.
Something like that, and that is messed up. Collectively our favorite fighting game.
Yeah. But you know what's messed up?
What's that?
Anytime I got sent flying in Guilty Gear, I kept trying to do direction plus button to quick recover, and it wasn't working. I was like, what's happening?
Oh, because of Under Night?
Yeah. Because it's a strong habit to break, because, like, you need it.
No, I get you, because yeah, I mean, we literally played fucking 20 plus games of Under Night before playing Guilty Gear, so...
Yeah. No, I think we hit like 35.
Was it? I don't even.
We played we went past 30 for sure. We played a lot of games.
That's how it goes with that game, man. Like,
dude, remember
with Under Night, like Under Night's just there's so much good shit there. Like, even if we barely know how to like the most vanilla idea of how to play a character, we're just having fun with that super basic like.
Dude, the Enkidu versus
Akatsuki. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, it's the hypest matchup because they're just both. They have this like the same intro. They both come in with a cloak. They toss that shit off, and then they start punching.
Keeping it stylish.
And like with that too. Remember that time where we were playing like our first like session of uni, and we were like, okay, we'll play like for an hour, and like we're like, okay, you know what, we got first to 10, like whatever out of 14, and then like basically 4 hours later, we're like, okay, I have to go to bed.
Yeah, so our first session of Under Night,
40-50 games.
It started out as like, I think we did a first to 5 in the beginning of the day, but then we moved on later in the day. You asked me, I think, if I wanted to play more. And this was like way later in the day, and we ended up playing like 40 or 50 matches. I shit you not. It was, yeah. Like,
this is intense.
That game is just so good. There's just so much good stuff there, and it's like one of the most
intuitive is how I like. It feels very intuitive.
It's a game that is, yes, I would say intuitive, but like it does a really good job at teaching you, and it's super like underappreciated.
I don't. I think it's just the art style. More than anything, I think it is just the art style.
I
That
think
like
the art
people
style's
are.
fine.
No, I love it, but like think about it. Like for most people to get into it, like an American, like like American audiences, that's not the consensus of what would be a good fighting game to a lot of people. I mean, Tekken's really popular here for a
Fucking
reason.
Street Fighter.
Street Fighter is really popular here for a reason. Anime fighters don't do that well outside of Guilty Gear, and the reason Guilty Gear does so well is because it's almost Street Fighter with designs. But well, outside of that too, I mean, if you think about like, I mean, there's like tons of good fighting games. I mean, Darkstalkers was super anime fighter, and
I've actually never. Oh, yeah, I know what Darkstalkers is. I've actually never played it though. I have like the very most.
yeah, this Felicia Morgan, Dimitri,
Yeah.
John, Alvin, or whatever,
Fucking
Hissy and Co.
The one fighting game that has kind of like transcended that anime barrier is obviously Dragon Ball Fighters is a huge one for a lot
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's because
Dragon
Dragon
Ball
Ball
too,
too. Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like if you put a different IP over it or made it original, it would still be a great fighting game, but it wouldn't be nearly as popular as it is.
So I think last time, or maybe in a different video, I think it was the Guilty Gear video I made where I was talking about how like Arxis is like constantly stepping their game up as far as visuals are concerned.
Yeah.
Like take a look at Dragon Ball and that shit looks amazing. And then
Yeah,
fast
it's-
forward
yeah.
ahead a little bit to
Cut Blaze
Grand
Blue out
Blue.
of all of this, by the way.
Yeah, we don't talk about Blaze Blue here. I actually know jack shit about Blaze Blue, so that's why I didn't bring it up.
It's basically a baby version of Guilty Gear. Not even gonna lie, it's just shittier version of Guilty Gear.
But you take Dragon Ball and you say this game looks amazing because it really, really does. And then you fast forward a little bit to Grand Blue and that game looks amazing.
Grand Blue is pretty. Like
It is very pretty. And then
very pretty.
you take fucking you take a look at Guilty Gear Strive and you're just like, oh my god. This is about as cinematic as a fighting game can get.
Well, the thing is, I feel like they really just just didn't want to give up sprites, and I never wanted to give up sprites either. and like they're like,
I'm okay with the 2.5D. Like that's where I like hop off after. Like as soon as we get into like full on 3D models, I mean, look at the jump from Third Strike to 4. People would constantly comment about like how the models seem stiff compared to the sprites, and that's because they were.
They were, because it's harder to animate a moving 3D model versus like a good old fucking
like drawn out frame by frame
sprites ever seen.
So I mean, and I love the sprite based games. I think they look way better to me in my opinion. Like obviously 2.5D looks very good, obviously Dragon Ball and
well, also just the sprites in Street Fighter 3 are like alive. Like they move. Like they're like, it feels like, oh, that's a living person versus like, I mean, look at fucking like it's like there's movement and like I mean, look at what's her name, for fuck's sake? Look at Elena. Look at Elena. Like just she's like doing capoeira walking and shit, and it's like, oh shit, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, something about like the smear, like motion blur kind of thing just makes the movement more fluid, even if it's like.
Yeah, because it's not trying to be perfect. It's trying to it's stylized versus like Street Fighter 4, which is stylized, just like the way they have like the cell shading.
So it's very stiff.
It's very stiff because it is a 3D model, so it's more accurate. Like it's the thing where like like if you look at a realistic game with like all the polygons of the world, you look at it 5 years later, it looks ancient. Versus like you play Mega Man, that game is timeless. Like you play like the X series, it's like, oh wow, these sprites look really good. It's like, and like Street Fighter 3 still looks good to me. It's like it's because it's not trying to be perfect. Because
so there's Street Fighter 3 and there's Street Fighter Third Strike.
Third Strike is what I mean by 3, because Third Strike is obviously
I think if I recall,
it's like
3
one
is
of the best, if not the best fighting game ever concocted.
That is like footsies and neutral. at its core, I would say.
and combo, and it's just a good old goddamn game. And then
Apparently, what I've heard is all hood dudes play Ken, so
yeah, oh yeah,
I like Ken. Ken was like Ken in Third Strike is like my favorite version of like how Ken looks.
I agree. I don't know. 5 is like okay, but like something about it.
4 is gross to me. Ken in
Almost
4
all
looks
of
disgusting.
4, like Sakura in 4, where she had the weird vagina elbow, was like.
Okay, I don't remember that, but I think if they went somewhere between 4 and 5 for Sakura's design, I think she'd look really, really good. I think
I like
Sakura looks
5.
decent in 5.
I think 5 is her best design that's been, if I'm being real. But like, with that too, though, like I really feel that. Fuck, what was I saying? I hate my life. What was I talking about? No, yeah, for Sakura, like she's like a lot of Street Fighter 4 designs are just kind of gross to look at. Just like the cell shadings, like on some characters, it feels like the cell shading is just a little too heavy.
With that being said, though, I really, really want to play Street Fighter 4.
Well, I think it's honestly a better game than 5, but I think 5 has like some cool shit to it, obviously. Like,
I think if you went somewhere between 4 and 5, like, I love the idea of FADC, and I love the idea of like harder links for like more optimal combos or situations.
Yeah.
Like setups and shit. But like a constant complaint about 5 for like the 4 players is there's like no freedom of expression within character play. Like if you learn combo or learn tech, like anyone can do it.
Yeah.
So I mean I could see that, and it's like how I feel about card games. Like I like the idea of having a signature as far as like this is my own sauce.
Like that deck I busted out against Mark.
Like this is my own sauce. I made this screams me, right?
That's that deck I played yesterday.
Yeah, we played some card games, and we'll talk about card games in a bit.
Dude, when that Zeraboros came out with 12,000 attack, so like you thought he had me on the ropes. I'm like,
as far as play, what is your favorite Street Fighter?
Favorite Street Fighter?
Just
if I'm being
sheer
honest,
gameplay.
If I'm being honest, the most time I spend in any of them is 5. But after like fucking with Third Strike, I feel like Third Strike is like honestly like it's not even like trying to like just buy out the hype. It honestly it feels really good.
We'll have to play some Third Strike. I'm definitely down.
Yeah, but
wait, who do you play in Third Strike?
So here's the thing.
You play Ken too? You play Q? Do you actually play? You play Q?
Actually, I spent hella time on Q.
You fucking command grabbing motherfucker.
He's not even just command grab. He's got a bunch of stuff.
He's he's brainwashed G, right?
Yeah, he's G but brainwashed.
I don't know much of the lore of Street Fighter, so.
Well, because Third Strike is the most like it's Third Strike Fight for the Future, right? So it's the furthest in time in the Street Fighter series. So 5 is actually before 3.
Really?
So yeah, the Q we see in like the Q we see in like or G we see is pre-brainwashed, and that's why like he plays completely different as Q, and like Q like when he like fights, he's like a sloppy version of what G does. Like he like falls over the place doing a lot of the moves that G does hella smooth.
So, oh god.
Also, I was playing Elena, but then my brain was like, dude, you can't do this.
Who do you want to play in 4? Because I'm gonna pick up 4, and
I used to like Jury a lot, but like I also like playing Dudley in any game he's available, which is why like part of me is like I'm probably just gonna end up playing Dudley in.
So you're gonna fucking corner with punish me?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the double down heavy and launch you like hella times.
Okay. I actually don't know who I'm gonna play him for. Oh no, wait, no, I'm playing Abel. Fuck you.
Oh yeah.
I keep forgetting
I
that.
thought soon.
Yeah, I really want to play Abel. I might pick up Ryu. I don't know.
Ryu. The character.
Ryu's solid in 4. I think he's solid in 5 too.
So the only reason that he went like super down is just because Kage is known to do like everything fucking better than him. Like, but what has happened is like Daigo like realized that that Ryu isn't dead because there's still shit that he can do better than Kage. So there is still reason to play him.
Seeing Daigo play Ryu is always just like, I don't know.
You know what's funny? Who is the? He's a Korean player. He's hella funny. He did some shit with Gutex and Mike Ross. Oh, why can I not remember his name? He got married like right after he like won Evo. I think he won the first Evo. He was the first Street Fighter 5 Evo champion. He was playing Nash.
I feel like I would know the player if you said the name.
Yeah, if I remembered the name. It's been a hot minute. Oh, it's so it has Razor as part of first. So you know the Evo moment like 36 or 38
37.
where like it's Daigo
Justin
pairing all of that he's pairing all of Chun-Li's super and then counters. So he redid that scene in 5 with his feet. Where he literally lifted up his feet last second to parry like everything.
What the fuck?
In mid fight. Beats first Street Fighter Evo champ.
Yeah, when I think of Perry, I think of Daigo and Justin Wong. But Justin Wong's not Korean, so.
No. Well, he might be.
No, I'm pretty sure he's Chinese, if I recall.
I'm trying to look.
Alright, well, I hope you figured that out. Damn.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
So, you gonna play Dragon Ball FighterZ with me?
No.
Yeah,
Before we play that game, can I be real?
What's up?
You're gonna have to let me workshop some shit.
That's fine. I'm okay with this. I'll play. I definitely won't play my main team. I don't know what it has been, but I've really been wanting to play Krillin.
Dude, who wouldn't want to play Krillin?
He's good.
Didn't they make him a lot better? Didn't they like do him dirty for like?
I think all he really needed was a beam assist, and then he got it. But they made his rock assist actually really good, apparently. So it's just like he throws 2 rocks, and you can't super dash through him anymore. It's good.
Yeah, that seems like it was kind of a mistake to have it dashable anyway.
I mean, it's a rock, right? So I don't know.
Hey man, he throws that shit with the might of Zeus.
I want to play Krillin. I want to play Android 18.
All right, let me find a save.
I don't know, man. I want to play some fighters, and I want everyone to like fighters, but I know that's not gonna happen.
Oh yeah. By the way, guess who was playing in good old Guilty Gear after we stopped playing when I was practicing?
Oh, you're practicing some shit?
Yeah, I was. I was doing some combos, my dude.
I need to get some B&Bs. I don't know if I want to play Soul in Rev. I think I want to play Chip, though.
Chip is pretty dope. Chip is always dope.
Chip looks cool. But part of me wants to stick with Soul because like I want to play Soul in every Guilty Gear. Cuz I'm going to learn him in the one we just picked up, the one that just got rolled back.
Accent Core.
Yeah. So I want to learn Soul in that. I want to be proficient in Soul and Strive when Strive comes out, and then I want to play Soul and Rev. But something about Chip and Rev just seems really, really fun. Or just Chip in general.
Chip is a fun character. I think in Dust Strikers, he is my favorite character to play.
Soul feels really slow in Rev. Like
Well, he links a lot of shit together. You just gotta really fucking work for it, because it's like...
I'm just sheerly talking his move speed, and like, feels really slow. But yeah. I mean, understandable. He kind of does deeps if he gets a hit. So
you know who's really fucking fast?
Chip.
Chip.
I'm playing some Chip, but he's also a glass cannon. So I don't play much Rushdown, but I feel like I'd enjoy Rushdown. So, and I know Chip's got some resets and stuff. I watched. I posted something in the Discord of Tasty Steve and Sajam, a little show they did on Cross Counter called The Recipe, and I was watching that for a bit, and it was really good.
Yes. And where they're riding the Tim that's about to burst through that router.
It's so good, so good. I love me some Tasty Jam, man. Love it.
I remember they're getting an argument over their names, where like he's like, "What's Sajam even mean?" He's like, "You're Tasty Steve. That's gross. Why are you tasty?" Who's tasting you?
don't worry about it. It's Steve and Sajam, who was also named Steve, which is pretty funny.
You know what's hilarious, by the way? I love that. I love that story that Tasty Steve has about where he went to Japan, and there's this ramen, like there's this restaurant owner, right? And he thought he was Will Smith.
Oh God.
No, but he realized, but he came there multiple times, right? And Sajam hadn't gone there with him yet, and he's like the dude's like hella happy to see Steve. He's like, oh Will Smith, and he's like, is that okay? He's like, he thinks I'm Will Smith. It's okay. He's just happy to see me. Like he's like, we're cool.
It's cool.
It's cool. And like, I don't know why that story always gets me, because it's just all funny to imagine this Japanese dude seeing like probably the first black man he's seen is like Will Smith, and like you think about Tasty Steve and you put him next to Will Smith, they look nothing alike.
So I actually been kind of on a fighting game buying spree, and obviously that kind of goes within the fact that you and I are going to be playing multiple different fighting games. I picked up KI. I picked up Killer Instinct. I've had a little bit of an interest in KI for a while, and I watched some Killer Instinct like tutorials, and you know who came up?
Who?
Sajam.
Yeah.
Old school Sajam. I watched old school Sajam videos, and I'm not gonna lie, they're kind of a vibe. I ended up watching some of his KI videos. He made a series called From Bronze to Killer or something like that, where I think he took every character. I don't remember. But I watched that for like 5 or 6 hours one time.
Goddamn.
It was a vibe, bro. Like sometimes like old videos they just hit different, man. It's nice. It was a super chill day. I enjoyed it. It was just big chilling. It was cool. But I do want to play KI and learn KI. And I talked to you about kind of a goal of mine is to have a pocket character or a pocket team. Yeah, because like if someone is interested in a fighting game, I want them to be able to roll up to me and like, hey, you want to play this game with me? And I'll be like, hell yeah, bro.
Does that include Dems fighting herds?
Yeah, actually. I hear it's a solid game.
Yeah, I keep hearing about it, but like I saw in the store, I was just confused because like it's just My Little Pony Fighter, and apparently it's a good game. I'm just confused.
It's got, I think Sajam played it.
It's got rollback.
It's got rollback. It's got solid tutorials.
It's got better connectivity than most fighting games.
So I mean, watch out, Arxis. Shit. Although they're gonna have rollback, bro. Strive. I keep talking about. I've been trying to be the hype train, bro. I've been trying to fucking part the Rev C, if you know what I mean.
I'm just so mad about what they did for Street Fighter V. I'm so mad. I don't want to talk about it.
You didn't appreciate my pun, sir. It was a bad pun. I'm gonna part the Rev C.
Oh. Did you ever watch that meme I sent you? That's from the Beyblade show, where they show they're like, oh, you have no idea the power of bays. They've been used to split oceans, and like it's showing Moses splitting the Red Sea with the
a fucking
Beyblade.
Beyblade.
Yeah.
Bro, I love Beyblade. I haven't been following it. Like, there's a... I'm not gonna say it's a phase, because I still love them. But, recently, you know, messed around with some Beyblades. It was cool and fun and good and stuff, and I liked it. But I haven't been following it for a little bit now, because I've been busy. But, Beyblades are sick, man. Beyblades are
Also,
sick.
question.
Also answer.
What server do I join? Also, there's this Videl in here that looks
Oh,
like
what server we're playing now, bro?
Yeah, I thought that's what you meant.
We're doing a podcast, sir. I mean, what? I mean, you could experiment and train while I.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
while
let me figure out what characters I can play.
Damn,
Hold
son.
on.
Don't play Videl.
I don't think I will.
she got buffed and she's still bottom tier out of what people are saying.
No, I saw a lobby character Videl and I was confused. I was like, why is Rock Lee in this video game?
What the fuck? My boy Rock Lee the Videl. Oh man, a lot of people talked about like a Naruto fighters. And
yeah, that might be cool, but they're really addicted to making those shitty 3D arena fighters.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you want to play the games for story, that's fine.
Dude, every game wants to be Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
Bro, that was my shit. I love that game. I still love that game.
So good.
I played the fuck out of that game. That game was godlike.
You know what bugs me though? That these games assume that I have an Xbox controller.
Yeah, learn to read, PC. It's
yeah, it bugs me. And like for
oh, you know what I hate though with that, in addition to that, is when you play on PC, you have a PlayStation controller or PlayStation stick or whatever, but it's still giving you Xbox inputs.
Yeah, and like you have it set to be the correct shit.
It's fucked
you
up,
have
bro.
it to be the correct shit in Steam too. Like Steam knows what you're using. Like
it's kind of a piss off.
Like I have it set. It thinks it's a PS4 controller with a pad, but it's just not.
But the thing though is like, I've been trying to figure out how to get more and more people invested in fighting games, and it's really weird because like, I think I want to start repping fighting game merch if I can find any, which I'm sure I will be able to. And like, because as it stands now, I feel like for people that play fighting games, it's like a dirty secret that they play fighting games.
It's weird, isn't it?
Like, obviously, you and I will talk fondly about them, but like, it almost feels like you have to intentionally interject with, hey, I play fighting games in a conversation to actually start talking about it.
Oh yeah, a coworker of mine at work asked, hey Vincent, what games do you play? And I was like, I've been playing MMOs, some RPGs, but I've mostly been playing fighting games lately. He's like, oh, you're that guy. And I was like,
you know what? Go fuck yourself.
I was like, what kind of...
What a McAsshole.
Oh my God. What? Wait, hold on. I'm so confused.
Why are you confused?
I'm confused because... oh, wait. Do I have to, like... Wait a second.
My boy Lord Knight over here has entered the chat.
I'm actually not pressing that hard. That button you hear me pressing, like, harder than the other ones is the reset button. Because I'm playing Android 17. I'm doing his combos. What's really dumb is it's just, like, launch him into the wall and then follow up with beam. And, like, it just keeps doing all but one hit on the beam. Like, on his blast.
His key blast?
Yes, it's doing all but the last hit. And like I look at the demo and there's really nothing that they're doing differently. So I'm just confused. Am I just stupid or like?
I don't know, bro. We'll wrap things up soon and I'll try to help you figure it out. But honestly, the trial modes for Dragon Ball FighterZ are not very good.
It teaches you auto combo. That's about it.
The only one that was actually interesting or useful was maybe like Piccolo or Cell. That's about it, really. Other than that, they're all kind of trash. They don't actually teach you any real kinds of B&Bs. And as far as B&Bs are concerned, like, sure, you can go with the approach of B&Bs can be anything. And I take that approach for other fighting games, but for Dragon Ball FighterZ, like, there's like a universal B&B that almost works with everyone. that is definitely more optimal than whatever the trials teach you.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't know. I want to make a fighting game checklist, honestly, about like what fighting games need to actually be a solid game. And like, it's really tough because like, I feel like fighting games need to add something apart from actually playing the fighting game to keep a player's attention. I don't know.
Like a progression system, like Injustice 2.
Something. I really don't know. Like, there's got to be something external there. And I talked about Brandon. I've been trying to like talk to Brandon about playing fighters, and he gave me an excuse, and part of the excuse was like fine, I guess. I still don't like it though. So I told him to play fighters, and he said, oh god, what did he say? This was a while ago, but part of his excuse that was actually valid is that I played on his account in ranked.
Oh, so he kind of fucked up his
Yeah, so like,
matchmaking.
in all fairness, I'll give him that one, like, in part, because at the end of the day, you could still play and like get beat up on until you don't get beat up on.
Friends.
He won't do that. I don't think he'd do that. I don't know, because like, and I've talked about this before, like at sometimes I wish I never got better at fighters. That way, like, you know, people could always have someone on or around their skill level.
Yeah.
But, you know, I enjoyed the game. I obviously wanted to invest more time in getting better at it, and I have been. There was an update recently where they changed the battle point system, where you were gaining a lot more battle points for ranked game. And I'm kind of at a point of confusion, because before they made the update, there was like a definitive place where it felt like players start to get good, and you knew the rank around when they started to get good.
Yeah.
But now with this update where people are getting more points, like, I don't know where it is anymore. I don't know where that point begins. Because like before, it was like, Living Legend players are okay or whatever, like halfway decent, and then Rose players are when players started to get good. But, or at least in my opinion, but now, like, Rose players are not that good. Fucking Pride Trooper players.
Because it takes less to get there now.
Exactly. So I don't know
Like,
where the line starts. Like, I've run into people, like, multiple ranks higher than me, like God of Destruction players. And, like, back in the day,
right.
I shouldn't have been able to, like, take a game off them at all. But now, like, I'm able to give them a solid match. So I don't know if that's in part me getting better, or just the bar has been lowered, or what.
Yeah, you're definitely not getting better, I'll tell you.
Agreed. I'm still sparking and then super dashing right after and getting 2H'd for it. So, I don't know.
The super dash, my dude. Gotta hit it every time you can.
You gotta do, man. Got super dash. So, I'm a little bit confused with fighters right now. Obviously, I enjoyed playing the game. I've been messing around with different characters too. It's been cool and fun and good and stuff. I like it. It's a fun game. I wish more people played it.
I'm trying, dude.
I appreciate you. I appreciate any effort. But yeah, that's where it always like boils back to. It's just like someone can roll up to me and be like, "Oh, hey, I want to start playing this game. Do you play this game?" And I want to be like, "Yeah, I do play this game."
Yeah, I do, and then beat their ass.
I'm
gonna
beat your ass.
This is the only fighting game I play. How are you beating my ass?
I want to at least have a character for someone to play against. Something, it doesn't even have to be like me knowing everything about the character. It could be like
you can challenge somebody. And
exactly. Like in Injustice 2, I want to have like a Red Hood or a Batman.
Oh, you like the guns. Oh, you scumbag.
I like Bat Family.
In Injustice 1, I just really want a Grundy.
I'm just gonna fucking Green Lantern command grab your ass all day. Ugh.
Well, the best grappler ever made is Solomon Grundy. Like did you watch that video I sent you?
I did, but I like vaguely remember it.
God, I hate that it's saying X and that's not.
So, I mean, yeah, that's, you know, if someone rolls up to me and is like, hey, I picked up Strive, and I'll be like, one, good job, and two, yeah, we can play.
I hope the homies pick up Stride as well.
I've been trying to talk to him, bro. I've been trying to talk to everyone. Like, you know, I've been the Messiah, the Crusader. It's just like, you getting Strive, motherfucker? Here you are. It's gonna have rollback. They don't even know what the fuck rollback is. I'm gonna be like, but it's got it though, and they're gonna be like, sick. It's gonna be cool. But I think we're gonna cut things short here. As far as the podcast is concerned, I can tell Vince is a little bit distracted right now, which is okay because we're gonna.
I've actually I'm also kind of doing this to go through my headache, so that's why like I'm just like hitting the buttons just keeps my brain away from the pain.
It's okay. Alright, you made it to the point of the video where I talk about my fighting game background. Now, I've not always been super into fighting games. That was something that happened a fair bit later in my life. I always played them here and there, but I wasn't really invested at all. The first game I actually remember would probably be Street Fighter 2. Now, this was a long time ago, so I don't really remember all that much. I was just kind of a little kid and played who I thought was cool. I do remember playing Ryu because, once again, he looked cool. Although saying I played him is a bit strong. I was just kind of doing things without thinking about it, like most people who don't know how to play fighting games do. The only other character I think I messed with was probably Guile, yet again, probably because I thought he looked cool. I thought Street Fighter was cool, but never knew what kind of following the game actually had because I didn't ever really play fighting games in the arcade. After that, things get a bit fuzzy for me for a while. I'm sure I played other fighting games, but I don't really know what I played. The main thing I remember after that point was a little bit of Dead or Alive 3, I think, and then Soul Calibur 2, Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution, and Mortal Kombat Deception. Like I said, it was extremely fuzzy around that time. In Dead or Alive, I'm sure I played some edgy and cool looking character. In Soul Calibur, I definitely remember playing Maxi because I liked his nunchucks, and yes, I probably played Spawn. The game was pretty cool because I think this was the first game I was exposed to that had weapons, but I was just a button masher at the end of the day. Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution was one of my most played fighting games as a kid. I remember having fond memories with it. My brother and I played here and there, and I thought all the characters were super cool, but the character I by far played the most were Kage, of course, Jackie, and Brad Burns. I particularly liked Jackie's style of martial arts. I really liked using his roundhouse in the game a good bit because they were just so satisfying. I still barely knew what I was doing, but the game was just such a big part of my childhood. The fighting game I actually played the most, more than even Virtua Fighter 4, was Mortal Kombat Deception. The two characters I messed around with the most were Sub-Zero and Ermac. I definitely remember command grabbing the computer over and over and thinking I was good. I remember the thing I enjoyed most about the game was actually Tetris and chess combat. It's actually probably part of the reason why I like chess as much as I do. At this point in time, I played a bunch of fighting games but never really played any fighting games, if you know what I mean. I was just a little kid mashing and didn't know like what I was really doing. For the most part, I would always get beaten by my brothers. I was completely unaware of any other fighting games really existing at the time, which is actually really sad because there's a lot of fantastic ones at the time. Fast forwarding a bit, a lot of times after school I would go over to a friend's house and we would actually play Smash Melee. I never actually owned Smash Melee, so the only time I could really play was when I was at his house. Needless to say, he beat my ass all the time, but I really enjoyed the game for what it was. I for sure thought my friend was a god, but I was actually just really bad. I actually have no idea who I played in Smash as a kid. Probably Mario because he was familiar to me. We also played a bit of Smash Brawl together. Once again, I got my ass beat, but I still thought the game was a lot of fun to play. This friend is the main reason I ended up maining Ike for most of my life. But I actually have no idea who I played before that. Maybe Sonic? Once again, it was probably a familiarity thing for me. I didn't exactly have the hugest Nintendo exposure at the time. Fast forward a couple of years and I picked up Street Fighter 4. Once again, I had no idea what I was actually doing. I thought I was so good because I could throw a fireball with Ryu and I was a god. Like most noobs, I picked Ryu because I thought he was cool and I was familiar with him. I played Ryu, but the character I was actually interested in was Abel and C. Viper. I thought the game was fun, but didn't think much beyond that. I actually had no idea how much of a hardcore following this game or these games had when I was playing them. I didn't know people were traveling around the world to play in tournaments with these games. I had no idea how serious these games could actually get. Sometime after this, Vince and I started hanging out, and Vince actually played Street Fighter a fair bit, so we played, and as I'm sure you could guess, he won. This was one of the first times where I really felt like I couldn't beat someone. I knew he was better, but I didn't understand why. This was kind of a big stepping stone for me. It was my first real exposure to someone who kind of knew what they were doing in a fighting game. There was a really large gap where I played a couple of fighting games here and there with Vince, but never actually sat down with them. That is until the release of Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, I didn't play Dragon Ball FighterZ that much off the bat. Some friends and I played, and we were just kind of mashing auto combo, nothing really anything special. I think Vince was the one who ended up winning the most, surprise surprise. After that little session, I didn't really play that much. I was let's playing the story mode and just kind of mashing auto combo the whole way through until I actually got a comment on one of my videos by a friend of mine. Big shoutouts to Juan. He was one of the reasons I started getting serious with the game, because he called me trash and I wanted to prove him wrong. I also really wanted to platinum the game on top of that, and that involves getting to Frieza clan rank if memory serves. I played at least in the beginning of Season 2, I think. I actually don't remember where I started. I ranked up here and there, but nothing was really clicking. I put down the game for a little while, but with that time I put down the game, I actually started following two fighting game YouTubers who were primarily playing Dragon Ball FighterZ at the time, and those were JM Crofts and Dododoya. I still follow them and watch their videos to this day. Watching them while I wasn't actually playing the game kind of helped me get excited to play it. I picked the game back up with kind of some newfound knowledge near the end of Season 2, with a slightly better understanding of how to play, but not too much better. Although I did start to get better little by little, and eventually kind of started to harbor a huge love for the game. Now, because of this game, because of my friend calling me trash, and also wanting to platinum the game, I found myself really in love with the game altogether and wanting to try other fighting games because of it. Just about every fighting game I play now, I have a lot of fun with and a new understanding and appreciation for them. I love fighting games and the community around them, and I really wish everyone kind of would give them the time of day and they could see too how cool they actually are. Well guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys want to see more, check out the rest of the channel. In the description there's links to not just my channel but my main channel as well. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Peace. And remember, stay blocking.